Are we ready to rock and roll?
Good afternoon, Chair and Commissioners. Welcome. We are live. Over to you, Chair Harrington.
Thank you, Board Clerk Aguilera. Welcome, everyone, to the Tuesday, July 16th, 2024 Washington County Board of Commissioners meeting. Board Clerk, could you do us the honors, please?
I sure will. The Washington County Board of Commissioners also meeting as the Board of Directors. Sorry about that. Not meeting as the Board of Directors. Meeting as the Washington County Board of Commissioners is now meeting in regular session on July 16th, 2024. Commissioner Willie?
Here.
Commissioner Treese?
Here.
Commissioner Rogers?
Here.
Vice Chair Fye?
Present.
Chair Harrington?
Here. I think what you were trying to get at is we're convening both as the Washington County Board of Commissioners as well as the Board of Directors for Clean Water Services.
Thank you
There
for
are
that.
certain agenda items that do pertain to that. Little do you know that when you vote for your Board of Commissioners, that by virtue of the state municipal arrangement for Clean Water Services, a separate municipal entity, we are also the Board of Directors for that. So, all righty. So just wanted to announce that we have, since the agenda was first published, we have additional material on item C9 on the consent agenda. And then we also have action item G1. So hopefully you've seen that because the modified packet has been available for days. Next on our agenda is public communication. This is an opportunity for members of our community, whether you're in here in person in our auditorium, thank you for joining us, or attending via our virtual means, to come and share your thoughts with us for up to 2 minutes an individual on any topic you would like. Clerk Aguilera, do we have anyone who wishes to do so?
We sure do. Delphi, please.
I'm going to break protocol. I'm going to say Commissioner Willie, who is District 4, my commissioner, and most esteemed Chair, Catherine Harrington, and commissioners. You felt bad I didn't point you out before, so I'm pointing you out this time. I know. You're my commissioner. So I already emailed this to you. Now, please don't read it, but please do read it, but maybe not now. I'm Dale Feek, Chair of the Washington County Citizen Action Network. And Commissioner Fye, you made a comment in the work session today having to do, you can always have impressed upon you what happened on the attempted assassination of the President Trump. And you said that during the work session. And then so after the attempted killing of Trump, President Biden quickly implored, I am calling on all Americans to denounce this sick violence. I'm calling for unity. And you can read what else it says, but it's sick, right? Anybody that tries to assassinate somebody else. We need to keep in mind what Congressman Susanna Bonamici wrote, and I sent that to you, and I have it printed for you. She said, and you've communicated with Commissioner Treese intensively, I think, with the Congresswoman. I hear a lot of you talk about her during the work sessions. She said, Project 2025 is the game plan for Trump and the MAGA-controlled Congress to destroy the federal government if they win in November. See details below, and the detail is, fire thousands of government employees and install Trump loyalists, dismantle the Department of Education, I'm an educator, and that really bothers me, turn federal education funding to religious school vouchers and end civil rights protections, eliminate the National Weather Service, ban abortion, and instruct the FDA to reverse its approval of life-saving drugs like whatever, end carbon emission rules, abolish same-sex marriage, privatize Medicare, and begin mass deportations of millions of people. So Project 2025 is essentially make our country an autocratic regime at odds with everything that the United States embodies, freedom, opportunity, and democracy. It is an outright power grab intent on destroying the separation of powers and undermining the checks and balances. Please consider what I just have to say, but particularly Congressman Suzanne Bonamici.
Thank you, Dale. We have one person online that has also signed up to speak. Jim Long. His name is Jim Long, and
Hello, Jim, can you hear us? Jim, are you there?
Yes, yes.
Wonderful. The mic is yours.
Okay, thank you very much. Greetings, Chair Harrington, Vice Chair Rogers, Commissioner Fye, Commissioner Treese, and Commissioner Willie. The CCI, the Committee for Community Involvement, which meets tonight, and our S&R subcommittee, the subcommittee held a public meeting this morning using the county's Zoom call link. Our Significant Resources Subcommittee approved the attached 5-page letter, which has been sent to you all, as well as the clerk and Department of Land Use and Transportation Director. In compliance with the county's updated letter received less than a week ago, how soon will this Significant Natural Resources draft letter be, quote, recognized, received, and reviewed by the board? That's really the big question of my testimony. Once review of this draft is completed, then the draft and letterhead will be updated. We are hoping to submit the letter in a timely fashion to the County Planning Commission for their public hearing on significant natural resources next Wednesday. Oregon State University is still listed in the over 3 decades old resolution and order as the administrator of the CPO and CCI programs. So for proper procedures, we can only assume it is still in effect. For the past decade, we've had unclear direction otherwise from county staff. Thank you very much for reviewing and recognizing our letter and letting us circulate it. If we need to change anything like the date, I hope that's okay. We haven't gone through this process before, so we're looking to see how this works. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Long. We'll have someone through our constituent relations team get back to you. Anyone else?
I'll make a call for folks in the room. Is there anyone else here ready to speak for 2 minutes? Is there anyone online interested in speaking for 2 minutes? We've got Addie Smith that raised her hand.
Yes, thank you very much, Clerk Aguilar. Before we turn the mic over to Ms. Smith, I would like to say thank you very much, Ms. Smith, for joining us this evening. For a little context for all of us, Ms. Smith has commented previously to the Board of Commissioners on her son's experience in the Washington County Jail. His adult in custody status will continue per the judge's determination. Ms. Smith, I want to share with you that I very much, along with my colleagues, appreciate your taking the time to share your thoughts with us, and I respectfully request that you do so in a manner that is professional and civil. Thank you very much. The mic is now yours for up to 2 minutes. Ms. Smith, are you there?
I am here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Please go right ahead.
Is there video or no?
Yes, yes. We're.
She's not on.
I don't
Oh,
see
you're
it.
not on video. No, our Zoom logistics are there to virtually allow you to provide audio comments. So the floor
Okay,
is yours.
so I will be there at the next public comment at the next commission meeting. So if you would go ahead and add my name, Kevin Moss, to the next one, because I wanted to show video today Unfortunately, I could not be there in person, but at the next meeting, I will be there in person to provide video to for the people there, as well as for the social media content that I have been posting regarding the board's lack of responsibility and accountability to the Washington County Sheriff's Department, as well as the judges in the Washington County Circuit Court. I want people to understand something. To attempt to gaslight me by Chair Harrington and say that I am saying things that may be inappropriate or unprofessional. I am a college educated Black woman. I have a master's degree in business with a concentration in management. And my son is also a college graduate and an educated young man. And the videos that I was going to show you tonight to the board, as well as the public, were videos of the woman who lied and accused him of striking her when they were in a relationship because she was sleeping with other men in his home and he wouldn't allow her access to his home anymore. And I was going to show you video of his next door neighbor, an elderly white woman who came out and witnessed what the young woman had done. And when the police were there, the police didn't ask the elderly white woman for her attestation of what she witnessed. So all of these things coincide with the continued suppression of my son's rights under the law, which this board is aware of, and their staff. And I have made this known publicly to the nation, and I will see you all at the next meeting.
Just so you know, Ms. Smith, by our rules of procedure, we do not allow folks to contribute video information during the course of public testimony or public hearings. I believe that's right, County Council.
Thank you, Chair Harrington. Yes.
You can submit any written information you would like. You may also provide your oral testimony to us, whether in person or, once again, attending virtually. Okay, thank you.
Is there anyone else online that's interested in speaking for 2 minutes? Seeing none, over to you, Chair.
Thank you very much. We'll next move on with the remainder of today's agenda. That includes our consent agenda next, which has 9 items. There are 4 items from Clean Water Services, 1 item from Health and Human Services, 1 item from Land Use and Transportation, and 1 item from the Board of Commissioners. What are the wishes of the Commission?
Move for approval. Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt today's consent agenda. All those in favor, please vote by raising your hand or saying aye. Thank you, Commissioners. Any opposed? The motion carries unanimously 5-0. Next, we're going to move on to boards and commissions. Our first one is to announce vacancies and authorize the recruitment of applicants through August 24th, 2024, or until all vacancies are filled for the following committees: Advisory Council on Racial Equity, which we also refer to as ACRE, the Aging and Veteran Services Advisory Council, our Financial Audit Committee, the Columbia Pacific Economic Development District, also referred to as COLPAC, the Developmental Disabilities Council, the Enhanced Sheriff Patrol District and Combined Urban Road Maintenance District Budget Committee, the Fairgrounds Development Advisory Committee, the Homeless Solutions Advisory Council, the Housing Advisory Committee, also referred to as HAC, the Metzger Park Local Improvement District Advisory Board, the North Bethany County Service District for Roads Budget Committee, that's a long one, the Northwest Area Commission on Transportation, also referred to as Northwest ACT, the Property Value Appeals Board, formerly BOPTA, and that one's a more limited time frame, or time commitment. Rural Roads Operation and Maintenance Advisory Committee, also referred to as ROMAC. The Urban Road Maintenance District Advisory Committee, also referred to as URMDAC. And finally, the Washington County and Service District for Lighting Number 1 Budget Committee. You can find brief descriptions of these in tonight's board packet, but also on the Washington County website, washingtoncountyor.gov. What are the wishes of the commission with regard to these announcements? You're right, because I just announced them, and I told you where to find further information. All right, we're going to move on then to committee. Thanks for keeping me on point, commissioners. Yep, it's been a long day. We're going to move on now to the Public Safety Coordinating Council, and we have a proposal to approve updated bylaws. The proposed bylaws are in our meeting packet. And so we don't have a presentation, but please know that the Public Safety Coordinating Council has reviewed all these bylaws and we, the Board of Commissioners, reviewed them on July 9th, 2024. And now it's just time for us to adopt them. What are the wishes of the commission?
Move to adopt.
Second.
All those in favor? Please vote by raising your hand or saying aye. Thank you, commissioners. Any opposed? The motion carries unanimously 5-0. All righty, we're moving on to proclamations. We have one tonight, and it's related to the incredible work being done by our community corrections and juvenile justice departments. And we have before us our experts coming up to help us proclaim July 21 through the 27th of this year as Community Corrections and Juvenile Justice Community Supervision Week. Yay, we have our experts, Aaron Calvert, the Assistant County Administrator of all things public safety and justice, emergency management, and more, and our amazing Community Corrections Director, Nate Gowie-Ran. Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, Chair Harrington and Board of Commissioners. For the record, my name is Aaron Calvert, one of the Assistant County Administrators, as you mentioned. I'm so pleased to be joining Community Corrections Director Nate Gowie-Ran for a brief staff report and the reading of the Community Corrections and Juvenile Justice Community Supervision Week proclamation. Tonight, though, I'll also be stepping in for the Juvenile Department's Interim Director, Jennifer Kearley, who's out ill this evening and deeply regrets not being able to be here tonight in recognition of staff and the great work that they do. I also want to acknowledge the excellent leadership of Director Gowie-Ran and Interim Director Kearley in the way they demonstrate One Washington County by the very nature of this proclamation and staff celebration. And for now, I'll turn it over to Nate.
Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, Board of County Commissioners, Chair Harrington. For the record, I'm Nate Gowie-Ran. I'm your Community Corrections Director. I also serve as the President of the Oregon Association of Community Corrections Directors, so it's an honor to be here, and it's an honor to recommend to you to proclaim next week as Supervision Week here locally. As you might not know, next week it's recognized nationally that Supervision Week is something that we celebrate all of our staff, all of our practitioners and leaders that dedicate their careers to this incredible industry. So I have a letter here that is written by the executive director from APPA. It's an international agency, but their headquarters are here in the United States, and I'd like to read from the director of that association. She says, "Colleagues and friends, as a community corrections professional who has spent her entire career in the field, I join many others in looking forward to the third week of July, designated as a time to shine the light on and celebrate the work of those who carry out this important work. While Team APPA praises and recognizes the value of community supervision staff all year long, this is an opportunity to specifically acknowledge and pay homage to the tens of thousands of amazing individuals in our field. It is also a great time to highlight the work done to increase positive results for those assigned to probation and parole. Last year, we adopted the Supervision Week Stronger Together theme, focusing on the benefits of working collectively to create opportunities and find solutions for the challenges we face in our field. The efficacy of the collective work highlighted by that theme, and indeed of all of our work, depends on the well-being of those who are joining together in this endeavor. And that is why this year's theme is Wellness Unveiled, navigating the community corrections journey with an emphasis on mental health. The need to promote mental health and psychological well-being that brought about this year's theme is one that resonates for all too many, particularly in community corrections. While our work opens the door to high rewards with an opportunity to change lives, it can also be high pressure. Since the onset of the pandemic, in particular, individuals doing this work have been voicing concerns about their emotional health and their well-being. Throughout this calendar year and beyond, let's emphasize wellness while remaining laser focused on the people and communities we are serving. We must not forget self-care. Consider what flight attendants say on airplanes before takeoff. Put your mask on first and then assist others. Yes, we must care for others, but we must also care for ourselves. If we are not healthy, we cannot give our best to others. This very issue happened to come during a recent meeting where a colleague spoke about building a culture of well-being to reduce unnecessary harm and suffering of our staff. She discussed how aligning occupational, organizational, and our own well-being strategies across roles, cultures, and backgrounds can make a measurable difference in both employee and population outcomes. She urged us to identify promising practices currently employed in our field that are focused on health and staff. Her words definitely fell on receptive ears. Ladies and gentlemen, we can use Supervision Week to relaunch a focus on both our physical and psychological health. Let us make improving wellness and finding balance a priority. Let us add to the stories of healing for ourselves and others. Let us show empathy and compassion. Let us celebrate resilience and transformation. And lastly, let us keep the message of health and safety at the forefront, not just during Supervision Week. And I can tell you that we ask a lot of our local staff. We have 3 different divisions, one being the supervision aspect of things where we supervise very high-risk folks, and we're charged with changing their lives as well as public safety. We also have a 24-hour facility, the center, as you have all supported. Thank you for that. We're expanding to 215 beds. It's a 24-hour facility with lots of different challenges, but lots of exciting opportunities for the clients that come there. We also have victim services that promote post-adjudication victim services, and it's lots of counseling and lots of trauma-informed care there for ongoing healing. So with that, I really am thankful for you to support Supervision Week and for all of you done for community corrections. Since I've been here, you've been a very strong advocate and very strong supporter, so thank you very much.
Thank you, Nate. I'd like to read the words that Jennifer prepared and had planned to read tonight. I am continuously impressed and in awe of the amazing people that do community supervision within the juvenile department. These are individuals who work hard at providing public safety and increasing the supports for and skills of young people. They work directly with not only our clients, but their parents, schools, clinicians, mentors, coaches, and anyone else that is important in the youth's lives. They work with people throughout our community with all different experiences and are excellent at pivoting to understand the needs of our clients and adapting to that regularly and quickly. Our staff know all the services available to youth and families in their local communities and are experts at working with our own county departments, clinical organizations, and culturally specific organizations to make sure the client's needs are met. They know both when to ask for more services to be put in place to protect our communities and how to deliver evidence-based services that help our young people to be successful. Our staff work well with victims of crime, our courts, the district attorney's office, youth's attorneys, and local law enforcement agencies to engage in supporting public safety needs. They work with local schools toward prevention. They are skilled at implementing services that are evidence-based and proven to support behavior change in youth. They work magic every day in their skills and abilities to balance so much at once. I need to also mention the heart that goes into the work of all the staff who do community supervision work. It is hard work. There are many challenges and obstacles placed in their path every day. They experience vicarious trauma from what they are exposed to. They experience loss, and yet they continually show up. They do this for the kids and for the families and the community that they work for. They often have multiple clients in crisis at any given time and work to support youth and families through those crises. They do all of this to make sure that the young people they work with are thriving and the community is safe. And for this, I cannot possibly thank them enough. And like Nate said, I know the Juvenile Department and Jennifer join in thanking your board for the support. And now I will turn it over to Nate to read part of the proclamation.
Okay, thank you. Chair Harrington, Board of County Commissioners, whereas adult and juvenile community supervision is an essential part of the criminal justice system, and whereas community corrections and juvenile justice professionals uphold the law with dignity while recognizing the right of the public to be safeguarded from criminal activity, and whereas community corrections and juvenile justice professionals recognize the disparate impact the justice system has had on our Black and Indigenous people of color and those who have been historically marginalized, and advocate for equitable and fair treatment for all, and whereas community corrections and juvenile justice professionals are responsible for supervising adult and juvenile justice individuals in the community, and whereas community corrections and juvenile justice professionals are trained professionals who provide services and referrals for justice-involved individuals.
And whereas community corrections and juvenile justice professionals work in partnership with community agencies and groups, and whereas community corrections and juvenile justice professionals promote prevention, intervention, and advocacy, and whereas community corrections and juvenile justice professionals provide services, support, and protection for victims, and whereas community corrections and juvenile justice professionals advocate for community and restorative justice. Now, therefore, be it resolved that on this 16th day of July 2024, the Washington County Board of Commissioners do hereby proclaim July 21st through 27th of 2024 as Community Corrections and Juvenile Justice Community Supervision Week, and encourage all citizens to honor these community corrections professionals and to recognize their achievements. Thank you.
Thank you. And before we turn to commissioner comments and a motion and a vote, I would like, after we're done with all of that, to invite the two of you, but also any members of our staff here in the audience related to this work to please join us. Feel free to join us if you'd like for a photo opportunity. So, commissioners, any questions or motion? Or comments, excuse me.
I think I have a comment and a question. My comment is to say thank you so much for all you do and for your service, not only to you and Jennifer and to Aaron, but to all the staff that work for you and contribute to creating a healthy people and healthy communities here in Washington County. I think you did a really good job of laying out the physical and the mental toll it takes to do what you all do. And my question is a fun question, actually. And speaking of fun, what fun plans do you have to take care your employees and your staff? Are there any activities to celebrate this week? I know you have the barbecue coming up, but is there other activities that are really fun and laid back and just to make us, enlighten us if you have any plans?
Yeah, I'd love to. So yes, we are doing a barbecue for our staff on Wednesday next week, and I'm getting behind the grill. So I'm going to serve hot dogs and hamburgers to our staff, as well as we're going to have a vegan option as well. And we'll say a few words, and we're also going to invite some of the juvenile participants to do a show for us. Last year, they did a talent show, and that was super fun, just to celebrate the work that they're doing to integrate people back into society. And we really have a people-centered approach with our community and all participants within our programs. I guess the best way to answer how do we support one another is every day. We build on our culture of support, and it's just little things like Tim is in the audience. He sends out emails that are fun, and he elicits just all kinds of good feedback, and he supports his staff. And we just hired a assistant director, and same thing. You watch her just work the entire crowd and it resonates with the staff as well as the participants in our program. So it's really a culture that we have at Community Corrections that we celebrate one another and help support each other. And it's not just the officers, you know, there's a lot of talent and a lot of professionalism that happens behind the scenes. Just a couple of months ago, we hosted a potluck for our administrative staff, and we just sat around a table and laughed and you know, just had a really good time, and it was relaxing. While people's, you know, their guards were down from having to, you know, deal with some of the other day-to-day operational procedures, but we're really just trying to continue to build on a culture that is healthy and protect each other both physically, emotionally, relationally, and professionally.
And any other commissioners? Go ahead.
I'm just proud to be a part of this. So thank you so much for everything you do, and for I'm pleased for the people you serve, and like I said, also to just bask in this. It's wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'm sorry that Commissioner Rogers and I will miss this year's barbecue as we will be away on Clean Water Services business next week. Commissioner Willie.
Yeah, so Commissioners Therese and Fi would like to have their hamburgers, and so they get to double patty thing.
I think we can make that happen.
Yeah, that's what I kind of thought.
Don't mind eating.
No, Nate, actually, I just want to say you've been a great addition to the team. Thank you very much. I really enjoy my only direct interaction is on the PSCC, and I appreciate certainly your investment in that and the education you bring to us. So thanks for that. You're doing a great job in your department, and certainly this proclamation is a great thing for us to do. So thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
I would say kudos as well, also to the staff. Aaron, it happens at the top. It always does. So thank you for your activity as well as Tanya. And I would be happy to make a motion to approve the proclamation.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
And I would like to add that, or give a shout out as well to not only all the community corrections, or I agree with all the sentiment shared with our community corrections staff, but also for all of our team members in juvenile justice. I have really appreciated having the opportunity to attend JCPAC meetings and to learn more about their great work to support youth here in our community. So we have a motion and a second to adopt today's proclamation. All those in favor, please vote by raising your hand or saying aye. Thank you, commissioners. Any opposed? The motion carries unanimously 5-0. So, folks, if you wouldn't mind joining us up in the front of the room so we can memorialize this opportunity.
Yes.
Community corrections or juvenile justice folks who wish to join us, please do. Oh, I forgot my proclamation. Like Aaron, do you have the letter?
I do.
Okay, let's squeeze in.
You'll hold the letter?
I'll hold the letter.
Front here?
Okay.
Are we centered?
Not totally.
I'll bring it up.
Okay.
Oh, tall guy.
I think that's close enough. Okay. 1, 2, 3, say cheese.
Thank you. Thanks, I appreciate it.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
I know.
So I was at an external event today, so I wore my Clean Water Services shirt, but, you know, couldn't have the Clean Water Services logo showing up on a community corrections and juvenile justice photo. Could I? Okay, we lost Commissioner Willie. There he is. So, our agenda, we move on to public hearings, and we have 5 different public hearings on tonight's agenda. The first couple have to do with some annexation. So we'll turn it over to our experts here.
Thank you, Chair Harrington and Commissioners. Teresa Cherniak, Principal Planner with Community Planning, here to support Tricia Garisco, who will give the presentations.
Good evening, Chair Harrington and Commissioners. For the record, I am Tricia Garisco, Associate Planner with Land Use and Transportation, and I will be giving a brief presentation on proposed boundary change 24-003, which is a request to annex 2 tax lots and right-of-way into the Clean Water Services District. The subject properties are located in the city of Sherwood. The properties total approximately 21 acres in size and are shown here in dark gray, north of Southwest Brookman Road, south of Southwest Cobble Court, and east of Southwest Robin Hood Place. The lighter gray area shows the current extent of the CWS boundary in the vicinity. This proposal is a request by applicant and contract purchaser, Westwood Homes, LLC. The request is to annex 2 tax lots and right-of-way, totaling approximately 21 acres, into CWS in order to serve future development at the 21-acre site. This annexation request was initiated by a consent petition from the property owner. County staff has reviewed the request and found that it meets the criteria for boundary changes as outlined in the staff report. Staff recommends that the board conduct the public hearing and at the conclusion of the hearing, adopt the resolution and order approving the annexation into Clean Water Services, with the approval becoming effective immediately. If there is any public testimony today, there is a brief statement I will need to read into the record.
Thank you. Commissioners, do you have any questions on the brief staff report? All righty then. Seeing none, I'd like to open the public hearing. Board Clerk, do we have anyone who wishes to testify during this public hearing?
We do not have anyone signed up. Is there anyone in the room that would like to speak? Seeing no hands, is there anyone online that would like to speak during this public hearing? I see no hands.
And with that, I will close tonight's public hearing on this matter and ask for a motion to adopt the resolution and order approving the annexation for these 2 tax lots and right-of-way totaling approximately 21 acres into the Clean Water Services District 24-003 to approve the annexation with the approval becoming effective immediately and authorize the chair to sign the resolution and order for the service district annexation.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, please vote by raising your hand or saying aye. Thank you, commissioners. Any opposed? The motion carries unanimously 5-0. Next, we'll move on to the next one, please.
Next is a brief presentation on proposed boundary change 24-004, which is a request to annex 9 tax lots and right-of-way into the Clean Water Services District. The subject properties are located in the city of Banks. The properties total approximately 210 acres in size and are shown here in dark gray, east of the port of Tillamook Bay Railroad, west of Northwest Ertz Road, and south of Northwest Banks Road. The lighter gray area shows the current extent of the Clean Water Services boundary in the vicinity. This proposal is a request by applicant and contract purchaser, the Holt Group Incorporated, and as previously mentioned, the request is to annex 9 tax lots and right-of-way, totaling approximately 210 acres into CWS in order to serve future development at the 210-acre site. This annexation request was initiated by a consent petition from the property owner. County staff has reviewed the request and found that it meets the criteria for boundary changes as outlined in the staff report. Staff recommends that the board conduct the public hearing and at the conclusion of the hearing, adopt the resolution and order approving the annexation into Clean Water Services with the approval becoming effective immediately. If there is any public testimony today, there is a brief statement I will need to read into the record.
Commissioners, do you have any comments or questions? Commissioners, do you have any comments or questions?
Yes, I do have one. Is this the entirety of the Quail Valley Golf Course?
It is the golf course and beyond the golf course. There's some agricultural area as well.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure it was all of that together. So, okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, seeing none, I'd like to open the public hearing. Board Clerk, do we have anyone who wishes to testify?
We have no one that has signed up. Oh, we have Dale Feek that would like to come up and testify.
After.
Dale Feek, speaking for myself. I'm not for or against. I just want to make a statement. I think it's very important for me that Clean Water Services make sure that they can actually service any additional water needs in small communities. I know it costs a lot of money to create lines to service that, so I just want to make sure that there is financing to help this proposal for a developer to develop this, and there's infrastructure necessary that's not going to cost extra for Clean Water Services and you as the Board of Clean Water Services.
Thank you, Mr. Feek. Is there anyone else in the room who wishes to testify on this matter?
Seeing no hands, is there anyone online that would like to testify on this matter? Seeing no hands, over to you, Chair.
Thank you. And with that, I'll close tonight's public hearing. Do you have a brief statement that you need to read since we've had testimony?
So, because the testimony has already been stated, should I read the following statement for the record?
Just to be sure, yes.
Sure. The applicable substantive criteria are set forth in ORS 198.850, Local Comprehensive Plan and Urban Service Agreements, and Metro Code Section 3.09.050D. Testimony and evidence must be directed toward the applicable substantive criteria or other criteria in the plan or land use regulation that the person believes to apply to the decision. Failure to raise an issue accompanied by statements or evidence sufficient to afford the board and any party an opportunity to respond to the issue precludes appeal to the Land Use Board of Appeals on that issue.
So, County Council, in terms of Mr. Feek's testimony, I don't believe it was applicable to the criteria that we have to satisfy for the annexation. Am I correct?
Sorry about that. Yes, Chair Harrington, I believe you are good to proceed.
Okay, thank you very much. And with that, I would like to ask the Commission for a motion to adopt the resolution and order approving the annexation of 9 tax lots and right-of-way totaling approximately 210 acres to the Clean Water Services District, also known as 24-004, and to author effective immediately July 16th, 2024, and to authorize the chair to sign the resolution and order for the service district annexation.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor of the motion, please vote by saying aye or raising your hand. Thank you, Commissioners. Any opposed? The motion carries unanimously 5-0. Thank you very much for taking us through that. Next, our third public hearing is with regard to legalizing a portion of Old Highway 47 as County Road 3,346. Good evening, Mr. Shetler. Our traffic, no, you're going to introduce your title correctly, and I'm not going to get it wrong for the umpteenth time.
Thank you, Chair Harrington, members of the board. I'm Stacy Shetler, County Engineer, formerly a Traffic Engineering Manager, so I can understand why that's stuck in the brain there. And today's matter before you is a road legalization on Old Highway 47. And this road is south of Forest Grove and north of Gaston. Scoggin Valley's road there to the south is the road that leads you to Hag Lake. And a portion of this highway is uncertain and is proposed for legalization. And legalization is to set the record of the location of that public road. So what staff found is that this road has been traveled in its current location for over 100 years. It qualifies for legalization under the ORSs, and staff is recommending a 60-foot right-of-way, which is consistent with the original survey notes. And there are no permanent structures located in the proposed right-of-way. So adjacent property owners were notified per the statutes. There's no known opposition to this legalization, and you will potentially get input at tonight's public hearing. So we request that you conduct the public hearing and then approve the resolution and order legalizing this portion of Old Highway 47. That concludes the staff report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shetler. Commissioners, do you have any questions? I have one. What is it? Is it through, I know that the county surveyors go through and examine a certain portion of the official county waypoints every single year so that we're assured that all the records are up to date and everything's legal and all that. But as you state, you know, the road in its current location has been traveled for almost 100 years. So what happened to get us to this point where we're going through this formality?
That's a good question. There was a project in the area so surveyors went out to make sure that the property lines and the road right-of-way was in the right place, and they were unable to retrace the original road notes, and so that prompted a survey, which then prompted this correction and legalization.
Yeah, well, you know, all these records matter. So thank you very much for taking us through all that needs to be done. So that's wonderful. Okay, so with that, I will open a public hearing. Board Clerk.
Thank you, Chair Harrington. I have no one signed up to speak. Would anyone in the room be interested in speaking on this public hearing? I see no hands. Would anyone online be interested in speaking on this public hearing? I see no hands. Over to you, Chair Harrington.
Thank you very much, Ms. Aguilera. With that, I'll close tonight's public hearing and ask for a motion to approve the resolution and order legalizing Old Highway 47 as County Road 3,346, with this legislation becoming final upon the filing of the proposed record of survey in the County Surveyor's Office.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please vote by raising your hand or saying aye. Thank you, Commissioners. Any opposed? The motion carries unanimously 5-0. And here we are with another one, this time with regard to Northwest Helvetia Road. Mr. Shetler.
Thank you, Chair Harrington. I'm Stacy Shetler, County Engineer with Land Use and Transportation. The matter before you is a road legalization for a portion of Northwest Helvetia Road. This road is north of Hillsborough, and it is also uncertain where the center line and the legal records show it is. This was prompted by a private land survey that was referencing the county road, and then it became known, the defect became known at that time, so we sent surveyors out to fix the issue. So staff found that this road had been traveled in its current location for over 90 years. It also qualifies for legalization under the ORSs. Now there's two different recommendations here for the widths, and that's to be consistent with the original survey notes. So 40 foot is recommended on the southerly portion, and 60 feet of right-of-way is recommended for the northerly portion. And there are no structures located in the proposed right-of-way. Again, the adjacent property owners were notified per statute. There's no known opposition. It did generate some phone calls. We had a gentleman who was in the audience earlier, Jim Hoffer, who is adjacent property owner, that piqued his interest. He actually came in to talk about the low railroad trestle, so we made contact with him and we'll follow up on that. But as far as we know, there's no opposition to this legalization. And you may also get input during tonight's hearing. So with that, I request that you conduct the public hearing and then approve the resolution in order legalizing a portion of Northwest Helvetia Road. That concludes my staff report. Thank you.
Any commissioner comments or questions? Thank you, Mr. Shetler. As you highlighted, questions are welcome, and Mr. Shetler will get back to folks on those particulars. So, Board Clerk, do we have anyone who wishes to testify on this matter?
Chair, we do not have anyone signed up.
Excuse me for 1 sec. Thank you, Commissioner Willie. I need to open the public hearing officially.
All right, thank you. We have no one signed up to speak on this public hearing. Is there anyone in the room that has entered since that would like to speak? I see no hands. Is there anyone online that would like to speak during this public hearing? I see no hands. Over to you.
Thank you. And with that, I will close tonight's public hearing. It only took me till number 4 to flub up somewhere. Are there any further board questions or comments? Seeing none, I would ask for a motion to approve the resolution and order legalizing Northwest Helvetia Road as County Road 3,344, with the legalization becoming final upon the filing of the proposed record of survey in the County Surveyor's Office.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please vote by raising your hand or saying aye. Thank you, Commissioners. Any opposed? The motion carries unanimously, 5-0. And here we are on number 5 of 5. And this is with regard to an ordinance. So while our staff is coming up, I first need to ask for a motion to read ordinance number 899 by title only.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to read this by title only. All those in favor, please vote by raising your hand or saying aye. Thank you, Commissioners. Any opposed? The motion carries unanimously, 5-0. Ms. Duke-Drayson, could you do us the honors, please?
Yes, Chair Harrington. Ordinance 899, an ordinance amending the comprehensive framework plan for the urban area and the rural natural resource plan to expand the North Plains urban growth boundary.
Thank you. Welcome, staff. How about a staff report first?
Thank you, Chair Harrington and members of the board. My name is Erin Wardell, Assistant Director of Land Use and Transportation. And with me are Teresa Cherniak, Principal Planner, and Todd Borkowitz, Senior Planner. And Todd will cover our staff report.
So good evening, Chair Harrington and Commissioners. I'm Todd Borkowitz, Senior Planner in Community Planning with the Department of Land Use and Transportation. And tonight we're continuing ordinance number 899 relating to the expansion of the North Plains urban growth boundary. So as you may recall, North Plains has its own urban growth boundary, or UGB. It's distinct from the Metro UGB. North Plains UGB expansion, like that for Banks and for Gaston, is governed solely by state rules and not by Metro rules. Oregon law requires cities to plan for 20 years of housing growth. It also allows cities to plan for 20 years of economic growth based on the types of industry the city aims to attract. Cities must accommodate the growth forecast within their existing UGBs, or when that forecasted growth cannot be accommodated, cities can follow a state prescribed process for UGB expansion. North Plains followed this process, and Washington County and other partners collaborated. Once this is complete, both the city and county must each adopt the same proposed UGB expansion prior to state acknowledgement. So North Plains adopted its UGB expansion ordinance in September of 2023. The originally proposed UGB expansion area is shown here, shaded dark. It included approximately 855 acres, including 167 acres for housing and 688 acres for employment land. The originally proposed expansion was primarily north of US 26 and to the east and west of the current city limits. It included 34 acres south of US 26 and south of the current North Plains UGB. So after North Plains adopted its UGB expansion ordinance, the county filed Ordinance 899, our ordinance for North Plains UGB expansion. So on October 18th, the PC held a hearing on the ordinance, then closed the hearing and continued deliberations to November 15th. On November 15th, the PC discussed the ordinance, then continued deliberations to December 6th. And on December 6th, the PC continued deliberations to June 26th, just weeks ago, after a time after the May 2024 referendum vote was held and that results were certified. So the Board of Commissioners had noticed its first scheduled hearing on the Ordinance 899 for November 28th, 2023. On that date, the board held the ordinance hearing, then closed the hearing and continued deliberations to today, July 16th. So here's a timeline related to ordinance number 899. As we began the hearings last October, we soon learned that of a referendum petition opposing the city's ordinance. At that hearing, county staff detailed and indicated support for the city's UGB expansion process and then recommended that the PC recommend approval of the ordinance. The PC received extensive testimony both in opposition and in favor of the expansion. North Plains mayor and city staff advocated for the expansion and answered questions from the PC. The referendum petition would eventually receive sufficient signatures to qualify for the May 2024 ballot. And despite some conflicting actions taken by the 2024 Oregon legislature back in March, county elections directed the referendum vote to occur and that the results be posted. On May 21st, North Plains voters overwhelmingly rejected the city's UGB expansion. So once again, UGB expansion by a non-metro city requires three layers of approval: adoption of an ordinance by a city, adoption of an ordinance by the county, and then review and acknowledgement of those adopted ordinances by the state. Since North Plains voters rejected the city's ordinance, the county's ordinance number 899 cannot move forward. The city now requests that the county reject ordinance number 899 as the city of North Plains considers its next steps. County staff will continue working with North Plains. If the city proposes UGB expansion in the future, the county can again file a new UGB expansion ordinance at that time. So on June 26th, the PC recommended that the board reject ordinance 899, and today staff recommends that the Board of Commissioners reject this ordinance also. And that concludes our presentation. We are happy to answer any questions that you have. Thank you.
Let me first ask if any of the commissioners have any questions with regard to the staff report. Seeing none, as noted in the staff report for this ordinance in our published agenda packet, the North Plains staff requested that the county reject this ordinance at this time. Our Planning Commission has also forwarded to us a recommendation to reject the ordinance. If members of the community are interested in providing testimony tonight, despite the staff and Planning Commission recommendations to reject the ordinance, I would like to entertain a motion from one of my fellow commissioners and a second to limit testimony on this item to 1 minute per person or 3 minutes if representing a group, and a total of 15 minutes of testimony today on this item. This proposed action is allowed by the Board of Commissioners Rules of Procedure.
Second.
We have such a motion and a second. All those in favor, please raise your hand or say aye. Thank you, Commissioners. Any opposed? The motion carries unanimously 5-0. So with that, we have the staff report, and I would like to open the public hearing on this ordinance number 899.
Thank you, Chair Harrington. We do have 2 people signed up to speak on this. I would like to call, one person is in person, and that's Dale Feek, and the other person is online. Oh, actually, I think he's here present as well. I'd like to call Aaron Nicholas and Dale Feek up to the front, please.
Good evening, Mr. Nichols. I see you're a baseball fan.
Yeah.
Welcome.
I came straight from work. I'm still dirty and wearing my work clothes.
Quite all right. You're more than welcome. Mr. Feek, it looks like you've signed up first, so you get to go first.
Okay. Dale Fika has mentioned. I don't know if this is true. I want it checked out. The state law requires that based upon state law requires that something be done. I don't know if that's a fact. It's based upon the number of population in the community. So I please check that fact out based upon what was said. I would much rather have North Plains to be included in the Metro District. That way North Plains would get the many benefits that Metro provides, infrastructure, coordination of many services, homelessness and assistance, and so forth. Simply reappointing the same Public Advisory Committee as brought forward Ordinance 490 will not work to gain trust from North Plains people. Engaged at 72% of voters who rejected the first proposal. Please consider that. Do need to build trust within the community, especially the people that voted. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Feek. Mr. Nichols.
Thank you, Chair Harrington, members of the board. My name is Aaron Nichols. I live at 11,000 Northwest Jackson Quarry Road, Hillsborough, Oregon, 97124. I'm here tonight briefly to thank you on behalf of myself and Friends of North Plains Smart Growth for the careful consideration, the pacing, and the respectful listening that you all and the county staff put into this issue. I've testified before that we felt heard, and we appreciate that from you all and from the staff. We agree with the recommendation to reject this, and we also want to point out that it does set precedent for rejecting an ordinance based on the political and the county level decisions, which we believe is appropriate. It happened in Brownsville, and it can happen in Washington County. We think that is appropriate. The city does not consider Ordinance 490 rejected. They consider it still active and have said so. And so this choice is made as a political decision on their part to continue to make a chance for a new UGB expansion. So we appreciate that precedent as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nichols. Board Clerk, do we have anyone online who wishes to testify this evening on this ordinance?
If there's anyone online, please raise your hand. I'm not seeing any hand raises. Over to you.
Thank you. And with that, I will close tonight's public hearing and ask my colleagues to see if there is a motion to reject ordinance number 899.
So moved.
Second. We have a motion and a second to reject ordinance 899. Are there any board comments? All right, seeing none, could we have a roll call, please?
I'm sorry, you're going to have to help me out. Roll call of...
You just ask each one of us what our vote is, and we'll tell you, and you record that.
Thank you. Okay, we'll start with Commissioner Willie.
Yes.
Commissioner Treese?
Yes.
Commissioner Rogers?
Aye.
Vice Chair Fye?
Aye.
Chair Harrington?
Yes.
Thank you.
The motion passes 5-0. The ordinance number 899 is hereby rejected. Thank you. I hope that everyone is clear on the result, the way I explained it. So, all righty. Next, we will move on to our action items. Tonight, we have a proposal before us for a recruitment plan with regard to posting and recruitment of the county council position. And we have our staff here with a brief presentation. It includes our consultant as well. Please take it away.
Good evening. Thank you, Chair. This is a relatively quick presentation. We are at the point where we have reviewed with you the posting details. We need to adopt those tonight, and we need to set a salary for the position. We've made a recommendation, but we need your approval. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to Heather just to walk through that process.
And thank you. Good evening, Chair Harrington and Commissioners. Glad to be back in front of you this evening. We would like to review...
Just for the record?
Oh, Heather Gantz from Raftellus, Senior Manager from Raftellus. Sorry.
Ann Ober, Assistant County Administrator. First time in a regular session. Thank you.
Thank you. Well done.
Thank you.
We get to the finish line together.
We do.
One Washington County team.
Okay. Thank you. So tonight, these are the documents that we have reviewed. We did update the County Council class specification. That's our internal hiring document. That one really is more focused now on the partnership and the One Washington approach. We then updated the recruitment brochure, and you all had a chance. Beautiful job. I really like the new photos. It looked great. And now we're going to go into the salary schedule. So specifically, we looked at what counties are most like us. Multnomah and Clackamas are the ones where we're probably hiring and have a hiring pool from. Currently, our salary range is $241,000 to $245,000, but the range for the most recently hired county council is actually at Clackamas County, and that was $271,000. So we're making a recommendation today that we go from $230,000 to $270,000 within the brochure. You all have the ability to negotiate that differently at the time of hire if you decide to do so. Are there any questions about this that I can answer? Perfect. Then this is a very short update. Do you want to talk about the process?
Absolutely. Just wanted to bring back in front of you our timeline. These are major milestones where you will be involved. Our recruitment plan will go live on Monday as you improve the brochure. So we'll be in the market come Monday, July 22nd. We'll come back together September 3rd and have a board meeting to discuss and define the interview and selection process. So we'll collectively do that. September 18th, I will deliver confidential candidate materials to you in anticipation of our meeting on October 1st. That will be an executive session where we will discuss and review candidate materials. And then we will do first round interviews over the course of a couple of days between October 30th and November 1st. And then we will do final interviews November 13th through 15th.
And we selected 3 days for each of these because we haven't heard from you yet on what the process is that you want to go through for both sets of interviews. So we will come with proposals, but please bring your ideas to those meetings. Any questions about the schedule? Perfect. Then with that, we would ask that you all approve the posting of the materials and of the position at the salary scale as defined.
Since there weren't any questions, still no questions?
I was going to ask a quick question.
Sorry.
It's okay. I don't have any questions about the salary. I do wonder about the timeline that you highlighted. Well, I'll just ask point blank, are we rushed to hire somebody by January, the way that the timeline is set? And I say that just to give a little bit of a context. We have a new commissioner starting, and I'm wondering how they participate in that process.
So the way they'll participate is we're actually going to bring them into, we have multiple levels of government that'll be involved in the hiring process. I haven't spoken with our newest member, but our intention is to bring them into some of those panels so that they have a chance to provide insight and engagement into the process. We currently have 3 or 4 county council or similarly situated positions out in the market in the region. We're trying to be in front of those, knowing that there are some really great competitive positions in an attempt to make sure that you all have the most options in your selection. But yes, it's tight. When I had a conversation with Courtney as the acting, my goal was to do this within 6 months, and we're going to fit within that, but that is a fast process with a recruitment process.
If I'm hearing you correct, you're saying we would like to stay within the 6 months that we promised?
For the staff capacity within the county council's office, that's been part of our intention, is just making sure that the staff has the support that they need to be able to deliver it. But this is your recruitment. We are delivering this for you all. So if you would like it to be a different timeline or process, that's up to the board.
I think for me as a new commissioner, this, participating the hiring, not only the hiring, but I also was able to see the little bit about the recruitment part of it. Tom Carr, our previous, I should say, because there's two in between now, his hiring, and that was really enlightening process as well, but also was the first higher vote that I was able to take here. And I think it was very profound in my own experience, and I was trying to figure out, not that the commissioner-elect probably doesn't care, but getting the opportunity to vote for, to participate in the voting of how we hire. Not that I also want to be clear, I realize that I might be robbing a vote from Commissioner Rogers there in that same statement, but so.
Commissioner Fife, I could respond to that. As Ms. Ober had indicated, we have scanned the market, and there will be in the near future several county council, city attorney positions out in the market. This, the timeline aligns very closely to other types of executive recruitments that report to the governing bodies. From a staff perspective, it's recommended to stick to this timeline. There are different touch points in the process where you can look at the candidate pool, and if you want to extend or change the timeline, that's the governing body's choice, but this is staff's recommendation.
Go ahead, Commissioner.
And just to add on to that, keep in mind, Nafisa, that we hire this person before December 1. It's going to be the end of January, probably before they come on board. And now we're stretching out into closer to 9 months that we have had the interim. So we got to incorporate that in the timing process. So I would agree with this timeline.
I will also share that this proposed process does follow our successful processes in hiring prior county councils and our county administrator through a national search, and does utilize the best practices recommendation from our consultant. Commissioner Treese?
I'd just like to say thank you for bringing this forward, and I appreciate the fact that we are going to be including input from Commissioner-elect Snyder in this process. I think that's important and valuable to the process.
Any other commissioner comments? I would like to entertain a motion to adopt the amended recruitment plan for posting and recruitment of the county council position.
So move.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please vote by raising your hand or saying aye. Thank you, commissioners. Any opposed? The motion carries unanimously 5-0.
Thank you, commissioners.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we'll move on to our second public comment period of this evening. This is an opportunity for members of our community to speak with us for up to 5 minutes an individual. Clerk Aguilar, do we have anyone who wishes to do so this evening?
One moment, Chair Harrington.
I think Maida's bringing you the final list. There you go.
Yeah, it doesn't look like we've got anyone signed up here in the room. Is there anyone in the room that's walked in after the meeting started that would like to speak during this time? Nope. Anyone online? Not seeing anyone? Over to you.
No one has raised their hand. Okay. Well, that takes care of our public comment period. Next, we have board announcements. So I'll do the usual upcoming meetings. This Friday, July 19th, we will be holding the Clean Water Services Board of Directors Board Training starting at 9 a.m. Next Tuesday, the 23rd, and the following Tuesday, July 30th, please don't show up either in person or on Zoom because we're not having any board meetings. Then we're into the month of August. Tuesday, August 6th, we'll start with a board work session at 9 a.m. Pause that. then convene as the Housing Authority Board of Directors plus a couple more directors at 10 a.m. right here in this room, the auditorium. Immediately following that, we'll hold the Board of Commissioners meeting, and then when that's over, we will reconvene back in work session. The following Tuesday, we have a few commissioners away on business for clean water services, so as a result, we will not be meeting that day. The following Tuesday, August 20th, we'll have a work session starting at 9, then a board meeting at 10, and then we'll reconvene back in work session after that. And then the final Tuesday of August, Tuesday, August 27th, we'll have an afternoon work session that may start at 1 o'clock, but certainly no later than 2, and then a board meeting at 6:30 in the evening. Are there any other board announcements from commissioners? All righty. Seeing none, do we have a motion to adjourn this evening's meeting?
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please vote by raising your hand or saying aye. Any opposed? The motion carries unanimously, 5-0. Good night, everyone. Thank you.